Williams, CEO Face, and you know, Paco, Melly Mel, and of course me, D to the R.E. Wowzers. I try to tell these rappers, yo, go get away. Wowzers. We run this radio like every day. Wowzers. Oh, don't be.
Now we're gonna be starting our roundtable. Of course, we got a couple guests in the building, of course, at this point in time. This gentleman, of course, he's no stranger to Wall Street Radio. He's toured the country numerous times. He's all over the province of Ontario as the DJ, as the opening DJ and the main DJ for the weekend. Also, along with being P-Rain's official DJ. He's dropped 2 singles, Reality featuring P-Rain, Belly, Big Lean, and Jordan, along with Grey Goose Diet featuring Harvey Stripes and T-Lanes. We have next, we got DJ Nellas. Of course, he is the only one official DJ in the building. Of course, he's no stranger to Rollins Radio as well. And of course, more than being tour DJ for Peter Jackson, Dave Nellas has also toured the country, DJed for artists such as Busta Rhymes, Royce the 5'9", Slaughterhouse, etc. We also have DJ Ritz in the building. There are some who know what to do when they're young, you know what I'm saying. This gentleman, he's graced Toronto clubs for over the past 10 years. He's been on the radio such as Flow 93.5, most recently with Mixology, with Jester and Respect. He was also a mainstay on Project Bounce. Last but not least, we got Celebrity Drew, of course. The club MC is a vital part of nightlife, you know what I'm saying. This gentleman is one of the MCs that can get any party started. He's also been nominated for Stylist Awards 4 times. Many may know him from his days at Project Bounce to now rocking parties all over the city. Along with being a crazy MC, he's also a talented DJ. He, of course, is the official MC for Alf.
Yes.
So we got Team Alf in the building.
Yeah, we're definitely in the building.
That's what it is, man. It's been about a year since, you know, the massive changes at Flow 93.5. Many felt that this was a huge blow in terms of Canadian hip-hop going down. A year later, do you feel that this is true? Has the new Flow triumphed or overtaken the old Flow in terms of breaking new artists? Do you like the changes or do you dislike them? What's your opinion on all of this?
I think taking away the whole, all the DJs from it and the freedom,
right.
I think the playlist is a little more tight and it's a little more, you know what I mean, it's got to go through more channels, whereas an artist can just hit up a DJ and they can rock it the next day.
Okay.
And now it's got to go through a few more channels because there's a couple less DJs on the station. So I think that's probably the major difference.
No, I would definitely say it's kind of like a filtering process. You know what I mean? Like we want to. This is Toronto, man. It's one of the biggest markets in the world, especially for like in North America, the budding market. So I definitely think, you know, the corporate landscape. You know, we all know Bell Media owns it, and there's going to be like a certain level of you got to start groundbreakingness, and you got to start from somewhere kind of thing. So they got rid of all the DJs and stuff like that. It's good. I remember talking to P Plus about it, and he said, and his idea of it, because I was like, man, that kind of sucks. You know, you're on the radio now, you're not on the radio. He's like, nah. In order for us to build our artists to a point where they're recognized globally, we have to kind of have like outlets that make sense. You know what I mean? Right. So a big corporate outlet, you know, a corporate outlet that owns much music and you know what I'm saying, a lot of other media conglomerates around, you know, throughout the country. Right. I think it's important. And we're not really, like, I don't really think that they're playing more Canadian records right now. Okay. But not to say that the future doesn't really hold, you know, more room for a lot of budding artists in the city. So I think where it's at right now, we're kind of, they're about to like turn the curve and start to get into it.
I actually like the new Flow better than the old Flow, to be honest.
Okay.
And I think it sets the bar for artists to make quality music. I mean, I'm not saying the old Flow is a little bit more lenient. And I'm speaking from experience because I couldn't even get the single that I had out on, I couldn't even get Grey Goose Diet on the radio.
Right.
And they were telling me, you know, we can't do it, it's not, there's been better records out than yours. And I'm just like, okay, well, that just makes me want to work harder to get it on the radio. So it's something to work for. You know, before it was like when I got Reality on the radio, I was like, oh my god, I got it on the radio. But it was so easy to do it. So I find that it was a little, like to do it now and get refused, it just makes me want to work harder to get it on the radio.
So, all of you gentlemen, you've dabbled in radio at one point in time or another. How important is the radio to breaking an artist or a new song?
You know what, man, I came up in a generation, man, where it was like dope to listen to the radio, you know what I'm saying? Like Click was mentioning before, we're coming up in a different generation now where people don't go buy physical CDs, they don't do that. They come into the generation where it's all digital. Yeah. So now it's to a point where it's like the radio ain't really galvanizing us, you know? before, like, we could say, oh, yo, did you hear so-and-so play that new record last night on whatever station it was? Now it don't even happen like that because people walking around.
I mean, I think it's important, but I also think that, I mean, if you look at the success that there's been of different artists like the Drakes, the P. Rains, you know, Melanie Fiona and stuff like that, I think a lot of radio stations have a certain percentage that they're supposed to play as a Canadian content and whatnot, and I think because the success of those guys, and their success is just getting bigger, it's that 33% or whatever it is, or whatever it is just getting smaller and smaller for newer artists to break their records, which actually makes it harder for them.
Now, of course, speaking about music and local music in that sense, all of you guys, you break CanCon, you know, Canadian music in the club. Would you say it's easier to play CanCon at this present time as opposed to, say, 2 to 3 years ago?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's more fans for our music now.
I think it's the Drake factor really changed everything. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like people have always got play in the clubs, like Claire, like going back to the Claire and Cardis and so on, and Dream Warriors, so on and so forth. But the Drake factor, the fact that the hottest hip hop artist in the world is Canadian and from Toronto, changes everything. That the whole game changed. So it's impossible. It's really pre and post Drake more so than anything else.
I agree. Like he opened the door, and then, I mean, it's good, but then it's not so good.
And why?
Because you have a bunch of artists from you know, I guess Toronto and surrounding areas and all over Canada that can actually, there's a lot of guys that actually can rap, but then there's the guys that think they can rap because he made it.
One side of breaking records is that the DJ is the DJ, of course, but the other side involves the artist not only putting out great music, but also a great campaign and business plan behind the music. How do you feel about the business aspect of Canadian music? Do you feel that it's changed and it's grown through the years, or is it still the same stuff?
I think you got you guys that spend money and you guys that don't at the end of the day. Because you know what I mean? If you're not going to put money into your craft and the effort, it's completely pointless.
100% agreed, you know. A lot of cats come up to me and they go, well, how could I get DJs to play my records, you know? And I go, well, what do you do? And I give them my CD, and it's like, well, bro, how many people do you think give DJs CDs? Do you think outside the box? Like, if I was an artist, I would go up to DJ Ritz and be like, yo, I'm so-and-so, here, take a set of needles.
And I think, like Ritz said, the money factor of putting money into yourself, and like Dame said, the time that goes into it are factors. But at the same time, I think creativity is what will, you know, set yourself from someone else who's doing the exact same thing that you're doing.
Do you feel that, you know, the blog has replaced the DJ for the new source of music? Because a lot of blogs these days, you go, they have their music playing and everything like that. Do you feel that they're now the new DJs?
Putting a song out doesn't make you a DJ, you know what I mean? That's like that whole like early 2000 mixtape thing where everyone was putting out a song, like the Clue style song thing. You know what I mean? That's not your traditional sense of a DJ. So if you just want to hear a song, then a blog is a great place to go. But if you want mixing and stuff, you got to go to a DJ.
John Jay was also a big DJ doing his thing. Touched on his interview with Toronto rappers. He was talking about DJs who jump genres. And for example, they play a 90s song with a 2012 song, go back to the 80s. Styles like this, kind of like in terms of shuffling. What are your opinions and thoughts about it?
What Charlie Brown is saying is true. You have to cater to the people that are booking you and putting you out there, but you also have to cater to the crowd that's in front of you. And I think that a good DJ can do that. I think any one of the guys in this room can do that and have done it, where you can go and play that record that the owner's whispering you or the person that's booked you is telling you to play, and then you're able to just jump right back and get that crowd going.
Promote yourselves, each and one of you ever promote yourselves, where can we find you, Twitter and all that good stuff?
Yeah, Dames Nellas, at Dames Nellas on Twitter, damesnellas.com. I'm official mix show every week.
Alright.
And we got mixtapes flying out the wazoo right now.
DJ Ritz, www.djritz.com. You get everything from there on Twitter, BLK all the time, you know, doing it.
CelebrityDrew.com on the Twitter, Celebrity Drew, YouTube, all over the place.
DJ Charlie B on Twitter, DJ Charlie B TV on YouTube, Vimeo.com/DJ Charlie B, SoundCloud.com/DJ Charlie B. This is CharlieB.com.
With every ounce of my love.